June, Edward, welcome to Pardon My Success. Thank you so much for coming on.
Get ready, it's the new edition. Your favorite morning meditation. Hey, it's me, pardon my success. I'm a hot mess.
I'm so sorry for any technical difficulties that we've had.
Mercury retrograde is starting, just so you know, and it took me 45 minutes to start my computer up this morning, so you're not alone.
No, that makes so much sense.
It starts in 4 days, but we're in the shadow period.
Okay.
Mercury has to do with communications, technical stuff, computers, phones, all that kind of stuff. So you want to be careful what you say before you speak, because it has to do with communication. It has to do with miscommunication, not saying what you mean to say. But Mercury retrograde happens 4 times a year, and I'm a Gemini, so it's my ruling planet. So 1 out of those 4 times whacks me really good every year, and I end up having to replace either my phone, my computer, or my iPad every time.
Really?
Got my car last Mercury retrograde. I kept getting a check engine light, and I made appointments to get it looked at, and then it just miraculously, I prayed, and it went off, and it stayed off.
Recently, my car, randomly, lights kept popping up. I was like, what's going on? Like, what are these lights trying to tell me?
Mine was the same thing, and it miraculously went off on its own and has stayed off.
Yeah, my car stopped working. It broke down on the side of the road. So that was not fun. Had to get the alternator fixed, but we did it. We're here.
A retrograde planet is a negative pull of the energy, because again, everything in the universe is energy, no matter what it is. You can take a meter over to a piece of wood and you're going to get energy off that wood.
Okay.
Put a match to a log. What happens?
Yeah.
It creates
Carbon,
heat, right?
yeah.
Heat is energy. Okay, we see it all day long. And then the smoke goes, that's just another form of energy. It's all energy. And even because you can't see it, you can't see the air you're breathing, it's there.
Yeah.
When we die, our souls are just pure energy. And before I passed away at the age of 27, I was one of those people that if I didn't see it, smell it, taste it, it can't be real. Even though I've had these abilities since I was a child, I was one of the biggest skeptics there is. Seriously. And I would spend my vacation time going on ghost hunting.
Like, how many trips were you going on? Like,
That's what I would do for vacation with my husband. We'd probably go on 4 vacations a year, and I would go to haunted locations. When I was a kid, I would wake up in the morning and I would hear the voices and I would see the faces, and it scared the hell out of me. When I got older and went to school and I'd tell kids what was going to happen before it happened, you get labeled a freak. So I was a nervous wreck. I would stutter, I would bite my nails. I was a mess. When I was 10, my parents had split, and there was a woman that used to come and keep me company every night when I did the dishes and talk to me. I assumed everybody saw her. So I asked my older brother who she was, and he said she was the woman that was killed in the house. Her husband murdered her, and it scared the hell out of me. And she must have felt it because she never came back again. So from that point forward, I really blocked it. I just... I'd feel the energy, I'd know they were there, and I'd close my eyes, and I'm like, no. Because ultimately, you are in control. So people should never fear. When I was on the Queen Mary, I can remember, being drawn to it. I was really interested in it. We were sleeping in one of the haunted rooms, and I woke up at about 1 or 2 in the morning, and I could feel that they were standing around the bed, and I refused to open my eyes. And I'm telling them mentally, I'm like, listen, you people need to go. I have a really busy day tomorrow. I have to drive all the way to San Francisco. And if I open my eyes, I'm going to be so freaked out, I'm not going to sleep. So go.
get out of here. But were you going to these haunted vacations to try to have more experiences? Or what?
I was, but I was still afraid of it. And they knew that on the other side. And you cannot do the work that I do if you have fear. You can't. We all have a brain in our head, right? Hopefully. So your brain is nothing more than a computer, and it will help you process the information that you receive. But your brain has a primary job, and that primary job is to protect you. How does it do that? It does it by creating fear. So most people are making all their decisions in life based on fear. So when you make a decision from your head, I've made my lists, I've weighed it out, right? You make the decision from your head. It's a crapshoot, 50-50. You never know if it's going to work out, and you're always questioning it. When you get in touch with your soul and you make the decision from your soul, it's a knowing. You know it's the right thing. You don't question it. You don't ask anymore. You just do it, and it works out 100% of the time, always. And this is what I teach people how to do, to get in touch with their soul, make decisions that way. And when you do that, you cut out a lot of wasted time in your life. You're not running in circles and repeating the same stuff over and over, repeating the same relationships because you're making the same bad decisions. The universe wants you to think you have choice, but realistically, you don't. You don't. You planned this life here before you came, and you have an ultimate end goal, and you have certain lessons that you're here to learn, hence the name of my book, All's Fair in Love and Karma, and it's 5 Steps to Relationship Mastery. And the universe is going to offer you door 1, 2, and 3, just like a game show. You take door 1, you go through it, you get married, you have a couple of kids, you get divorced, you're in front of door 1, 2, and 3 again. Well, if you have not learned the lesson that you were supposed to learn, you're going to take door 1 again, because that's what most people do. Wash, rinse, repeat, right? So they're going to go through, they're going to get married, have a couple more kids, they're going to get divorced, they're going to be right back in front of door 1 again. If they learned the lesson they were supposed to learn, maybe it was self-worth, maybe it was unconditional love, maybe it was patience, who knows? If they've learned that, they will not take door 1 again. They will now take door 2 or door 3. They still may get married and have more kids, but it's not going to end in divorce like the other one did, because they learned the lesson they were supposed to learn. So if you can listen to your soul and follow those choices, you'll cut out so much wasted time and be on your path in life so much easier and really enjoy the roller coaster.
How would you recommend to start doing so?
If you go to my website, JuneEdwood.com, not to plug my book, my first book is called A Night on the Other Side. I was in the middle of writing my autobiography, Dancing with the Universe, and I kept hearing, you have to write the book, you have to write the book. I'm like, I'm writing the book. They're like, no, the other book. I'm like, what book? And at the time, I was teaching mediumship and psychic development, and I was taking care of my mom that was passing. So they're like, no, you have to write a book for your students, so your students have something to take with them. I'm like, oh, well, if you want me to do this, then you're going to have to help me channel it, because I have no time between taking care of my mom, writing the other book. So I literally channeled, wrote, and published my first book in 6 weeks. It is a guide for everything that I taught in my mediumship and development class. It teaches you how to meditate properly, because most people do not, and most people do not teach it properly. It teaches you how to clear your own energy if you're an empath, and a lot of people are, and they're absorbing everyone else's negativity during the day. When I was a student, because I trained for 1.5 years before I did anything, I needed to know that I could turn this on and off and not go crazy. One of the first people I brought through was a dear friend of mine that I grew up with who had committed suicide. And he came through to me from the other side, and he was very remorseful and he was crying. And I brought that all onto me. And I walked around for 3 days and couldn't stop crying because I did not know how to clear the energy.
How do you clear it?
The best and fastest way to do that is with sea salt. Negative energy is positively charged ions. If anybody remembers their science class.
Yes.
And sea salt is a negatively charged ion. So negative meets positive, neutralizes immediately. So don't throw it in your bathtub because it's just going to dissipate. Rub it on your body first and then get in your tub, or rub it on your body before you take a shower. I live near the ocean, so I go down to the ocean every morning, and just that sea air helps neutralize that negativity. No matter where you go, you walk through a mall, you're picking up all, it's like, picture a lint brush. You're picking up all that negativity from people. I mean, everybody can feel it. If you walk into a birthday party and feel that high energy, and then go walk into a funeral and feel that low energy. So when people get sensitive and pay attention to the energy, this is what opens up their abilities as well. And when you start meditating and getting in touch with your soul's pure energy, and it raises your vibration. So it's very easy to pick up on all the energy around you. You'll immediately know if you walk in and there's somebody sending daggers your way. They could be behind you, but you feel it.
That's always my issue. I'm so sensitive.
Thoughts are things. Where your thoughts go, your energy flows. That's a fact. So you have to be careful what your thoughts are, where they go. And this is how the law of attraction works. Once you raise your vibration, you send those thoughts out to the universe, and the universe will always supply to you what it is you're looking for. Always. So part of what I teach is also the law of attraction. A lot of people teach it, but they don't teach you how to maintain it because they don't know. You have to balance your energy in order to maintain it. We're all like magnets, so you're always either attracting or repelling at any given time. And in order to continue attracting what it is you want and repelling what it is you don't want, you have to balance your energy. And it's not an easy thing to do. It's a process.
And is that like getting rid of negative energy and then meditating? What other steps can you do?
It's a 7-week program. If I could tell you that this quickly, I would. But I have a 7-week program to teach it, and it's pretty intense. And a lot of people that go through my program, you can read a book and not absorb what it is you're supposed to learn. It's that simple. So you really have to understand and absorb what I teach in order for it to work. And some people have actually had to do the program 2 and 3 times before they can shift their energy and balance it and maintain it. I put hundreds and hundreds of people through the program, and their lives are just amazing. The stories that I could tell you on, people on the verge of suicide that have found me. I had one guy who was just out of prison and he'd lost everything. He was married. He was from a very, very small town. He got into financial trouble and started selling off livestock that wasn't his. And he ended up 6 months in prison for it, and a small town. No one talked to him. He lost all his friends. His wife divorced him. His kids wouldn't talk to him. He got out of prison, had nothing. And he was on the verge of suicide. And he's like, your ad just popped up on my computer. I'm like, that's how it works. They send me to who needs me, basically. He did the program, and within a year of doing the program, he published a book on his experience. His kids came back first, and his friends, because he got a job and he started paying them back and making amends for anybody that he had hurt. And they all rallied around him. Everybody hits hard times. Everybody makes bad decisions. Okay. It happens, but there's a lesson in there. There's a reason for it. And his life turned around so much. He ended up opening a food truck because he'd always wanted to do something like that. And within a couple of years, it turned into a full-fledged restaurant. And he's doing absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. His life he's on the top of the world. But this is what happens when you listen to your soul and tap into that energy. Everything comes back to you.
My parents are definitely going to be listening to this, and my dad's very Catholic, very religious, and also definitely a huge cynic. And I would love to talk to you a little bit about how you don't prescribe to one singular religion.
There's 176 recognized religions just in the United States. Forget the rest of the world. So for somebody to think that theirs is all right and everyone else is wrong is, from my perspective, kind of closed-minded. I mean, your belief system is what's been drilled into you, and your belief system changes based on your knowledge. So if you know something differently, suddenly your belief system changes. And I was raised in a lot of religions. My mom was a medium, and I had no idea. One of 8 kids, and my dad kidnapped the last 5 of us when I was 10. And told us that our mom was crazy. I connected with my mom later in life, and my mom was a medium and actually studied at the same places I ended up studying 50 years earlier. She was always looking for answers. So I was raised Protestant, Presbyterian, there's one that starts with a B, Baptist. Yep. I went to Catholic school in the 2nd grade, the only non-Catholic in the school. And I had a sister that was raised Hindu. I've been exposed to lots of different religions. And when you die and you go to the other side, there is only one. You can call it whatever you want, source energy, God, Jehovah, whatever you want to call it. There is only one. And the only 2 things that you take with you are love and knowledge. And that's it. And you access the knowledge of all of your lifetimes when you get to the other side. Is Jesus real? Absolutely. Is Ganesh real? Who is a Hindu god? Who's an elephant? Absolutely. Those are called ascended masters because they actually lived and walked the earth. And they're there to help you. And will they come through to you? Absolutely. I was blown away the first time Jesus actually came through to me. Because before I died, let me tell you, my first fiance was Portuguese. I was raised around Portuguese people. They always had the Mother Mary statue on the dash and the rosary. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is just ridiculous. Well, let me tell you, they are all real. They are all very real. They are all very helpful. You can call on any one of them and they will show up immediately. Mother Mary works with Archangel Raphael. They'll show up immediately to heal you. I have trouble with my thyroid. I have to have it biopsied every few years. Don't even use anesthesia. There's 7 needles in my neck and I just call on Mother Mary and Archangel Raphael. I feel nothing.
So you called on Jesus. Tell me more.
I was doing a class on mediumship, and one of the students was saying that his guide is Jesus, because we all have a guide. So he was trying to tell me that whether it was his guide or his guardian angel, I don't know, was Jesus. And I'm saying to myself, I don't know about that. This is when I was fairly new to this too. I'd only been really doing it for a couple of years. And so I went home and meditated, and I asked to see Jesus. And sure enough, he showed up in 2 seconds. He goes, yeah, I will show for anyone that calls on me, anyone that asks for me, absolutely.
What do you say? What do you guys talk about?
Most of my education for what I know about the other side is information and knowledge that they've given me from the other side, from Jesus and every other guide that's over there. They've explained what heaven is like. They explained it to me like a layer cake. And maybe that's because I was a trained chef. I don't know. But I've seen what it looks like. And I've been to the lowest level, which is the 5th dimension. And I can go back and forth to that at will. But as it was explained to me, you go to the level of heaven based on how advanced your soul is and what your belief system is at the time. If you were raised Hindu, then you would be with other Hindus because you're comfortable with that belief system and those people. But there still is only one source energy, whatever it is. When my mom was dying, there was an angel in the room. And I asked her originally if she saw the angel, and she said no. And I thought that was great. She's probably going to be okay. I came back up the next morning and was met by an oncologist to tell me that she was terminal. She's not going to make it more than a few hours. And I asked my mom at that point if she saw the angel, and she says, yeah, I see him. I stayed with her through the night, and during the night, I asked the angel his name, and he said his name was 𝐿𝐼𝐻, not Michael, 𝐿𝐼𝐻. So I looked up the angel 𝐿𝐼𝐻, and the angel 𝐿𝐼𝐻 brings souls to the advanced realms when they pass. It is Michael. It's the same angel. Had he said his name was Michael, I would not have even looked him up. Yeah, here for the protector, blah, blah, blah. But because he said his name was 𝐿𝐼𝐻, I looked up to learn about 𝐿𝐼𝐻, and it is the same angel as Michael. This is another one of his jobs, is he takes advanced souls to the higher realms.
So you were able to, like...
I actually watched her soul leave her body.
And I know that you said that she also still comes and visits you all the time.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah, she comes
which
through
is
about
so funny.
19, 20 years old, which is great. She died at 93. My mom and my dad had not been together for over 50 years. They still talked every day. They died the same day, the same age, 1 year apart. You can't make this stuff up.
That's crazy.
As soon as she left her body, she immediately went to him on the other side. I was shocked. Even though I know this stuff, I do this, I was still shocked.
Why weren't they together?
They were both very abusive people. They were toxic together. He was not a very nice guy. But I can tell you that the only people that are not in heaven are the ones that have taken someone else's life and have no remorse for it. Those are the only people that are not there. So yes, rapists are up there. Gay people are up there. Everybody else is in heaven. Absolutely. Everyone else is in heaven except if you've taken someone else's life and have no remorse. And like they say, God is a forgiving God. So I'm sure if even on your deathbed you had remorse for taking someone else's life, you would still go to heaven and not hell.
But there is a hell.
Oh, there is a hell. Absolutely. Thank you. I have never had to go there. However, I did meet a man at my gym once who was a priest, and he was very interested in talking to me because I had died. We started talking, and he explained to me that he had also passed away when he was in his 30s. And when he died, he was taken to hell. Not heaven. He was taken to hell. And he was told that they wanted him to see what it was like and to go back and tell people, because this is not where they want to be. And when he came back, he entered the monastery and became a Catholic priest.
Oh my gosh. What did he see there?
What you would expect. I mean, I see demons. I've had to deal with demons. This is not who I choose to work with as my profession. I try to work with souls that have gone into the light and come back and forth, and angels. However, depending on what I have to do, I've had to work with demons many times. I've been attacked by demons. They are very dangerous. They are real. I tell everyone they should always wear some type of religious something around their neck because they're everywhere. Alcohol used to be called spirits because when you drink alcohol, it lowers your threshold and allows you to be attacked by spirits. They want your body. They don't have one. The ones that are stuck here. The ghosts that are stuck here are low vibrational. And a lot of them are very evil and they want your body.
Why are they stuck here? Just because they don't want to leave?
Souls are stuck here for a lot of different reasons. You have people that die and for a while don't realize they're dead, and once they figure it out are afraid to go anywhere, or they're comfortable here. You know, I've seen basements full of immigrants because when they die, that was their safe space. That's where they hid. So that's where they went back and they congregated, right?
Oh,
I've seen children that was stuck here that I've had to move into the light that have died from different ailments and, you know, are still looking for their parents, walking around for 100 years and don't know where to find them. There's many, many different scenarios. I've moved people into the light that have died of drug overdoses and are afraid to go into the light because they think they're going to be judged or because they know their parents are there and they know they let them down. Different things like that. So there's millions and millions of them roaming around. If you could see what I see, it's like watching an episode of, you know, Day of the Dead or something. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're in the Sixth Sense where like head cut off. It's not like a gruesome, gory.
Again, you are in charge, and I have an agreement with the other side that I don't see that. So I've worked on missing person cases and murder cases and things like that. So I can see the crime. They can show me how it happened. They cannot show me the gore. I don't want to see that. So I see it all without that.
That's so cool. You've worked on murder investigations. How did that come about?
That was a family that was trying to find someone that had killed their uncle. They actually sought me out. I gave them all the details. They were pretty sure they knew who the murderer was, and basically I confirmed it and let them know where the murder weapon ended up and the clothing and all that stuff.
And were they able to find it?
Yeah, they took it to the police. A lot of people will come to me and then take it to the police. There are very few police departments that want to work with psychics. I have worked with one police chief who's no longer there anymore. He's actually working as a psychic. Yeah, he's retired. He's now working as a psychic medium.
I wonder if that's why he became a cop, because he already could see these things and he wanted to help out. And now that he's done with that, he can finally live his truth.
Well, you know, you see lots of strange things through life if you pay attention. It doesn't really matter who you are. You'll see that, you know, we're really living in an illusion. The movie Avatar couldn't have been more clear. You know, you go to bed at night and more of your soul leaves your body and can travel wherever it wants to, and when you wake up in the morning you're back into this suit we call a body, and you're an actor in a play.
My 𝐕𝐻𝐳 has always been very strong. I often have this feeling hit me where it's like, I've dreamed this.
Well, you've probably been there before. Chip Coffey was one of the first psychics to do anything with children as far as remembering all of their past lives. There is research studies out of, I believe it's the University of Virginia. The two most foremost authorities are two doctors from Virginia who've studied thousands of people and come up with 200 different points to prove reincarnation on people. And a lot of times you come back in the same general area. We always reincarnate with the same group of people. Every archangel has a soul group, and we're always coming back with people from the same soul group. And there's millions of people in your soul group. But a lot of times you'll come back to the same general area that you were before if there's something that you have to finish or, you know, take care of or owe karma to, or maybe you just enjoyed that area more.
Wait, no, that makes a lot of sense. Why you feel so connected to certain people and why you feel as though you've known them forever.
So there's 3 different types of relationships. There is a twin flame, which is extremely rare. There's too much misinformation about them on the internet. They're so rare it's not even worth talking about. It's that rare. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Literally one soul that's split into 2 different bodies.
I feel like everyone believes they have a twin flame though.
No, they don't. They're so rare it's ridiculous. And they're not a good relationship. They're a very difficult relationship. They're meant to change your whole life. They're very fleeting. They only last anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. And they're meant to put your life on a completely different trajectory. The reason I do what I do is because I encountered mine. And then you separate, and then there is no contact. You both are put on a path of a higher purpose. And once you've both achieved that, at some point in the life you're in, you'll have an opportunity to meet again. Will you get together? Most don't, because one or the other has not learned all of the soul lessons they're here for, and they're not doing the higher path that they're supposed to be doing here. So it's very rare for people to encounter them. So there's soulmates and there's karmic relationships, and we all have thousands of each of those. And a karmic relationship is somebody you get together with and it just never really feels like it really fits. There's always something missing. It feels like you're looking over your shoulder, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. There's just something there. And then as soon as one or the other learn their lesson, it ends immediately. It's like you wake up one morning and you're like, why am I even here?
I know a lot of people that need to wake up.
Well, if you both learned your lesson, then it can end amicably. But if only one of you have learned the lesson, it will end, but it will not be amicable.
Yeah.
And then the soulmate relationship, that's somebody that you get together and it kind of moves fairly quickly. And you really feel like you've known this person a long time. It's really comfortable. And again, they're meant to teach you something or you teach them, but it's meant to afford you some love and comfort along the way. So it's not always so hard. And any of these can last a long time or they can last a short time. It really depends on what you've written into your plan.
You've mentioned that a few times. So is it like your soul before you come back each life
Before
decides?
you come back here, it's quite the process to come up with your life plan, because think of all the people that you interact with on a daily basis. So it's like making your own Monopoly game. Who are you going to be? What are you going to do? Are you going to have kids? Who are your kids going to be? Right? All of this. It's very, very involved. And the only unacceptable out of the game is suicide. That is never written into your plan and is never acceptable.
Really?
That's the equivalent of just getting up and quitting the game, because now all the angels have to come in and interact with everyone you were supposed to interact with for the rest of your life.
Oh, wow. If somebody commits suicide, it's that they still had so much time genuinely left.
What happens with those people, it's just like my friend that had committed suicide. They have to go through a lot of counseling on the other side before they're able to reincarnate again and come back.
They were like on probation. They were like, come on.
They have to find out why. What was the problem? Why weren't you strong enough? What was the issue? Why, we can't send you back to do that again, because it's a lot of work for everybody else.
Like, so insightful. You have given us so much knowledge today, just so much to think about. And I really appreciate you coming on and talking with me.
When you get in touch with your soul has the answers. Everyone's soul has all the answers once you tap into that.
Yes, we must listen to our souls, and I hope everybody appreciates you as well. I'm sure they will. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Jude.
They can go to my website. They can book appointments there.
Yes.
They can links to all of my books, 𝐂𝐻𝐻𝐿.com.
I'm so excited to read more. I hope everybody can take this with them into their daily lives. Go out there, let your soul guide you. Any other last comments?
I'm on Facebook as well, if that's easier for people. You're more than welcome to message me through there. I do put things up every day. I'm very active on Facebook.
All right, perfect. I will. We'll become friends on Facebook. It's going to be great.
Have a
Thank you
wonderful
so much,
day,
Jude.
everyone.
You
Okay.
too.
Take care.
Bye.
Are you PMSing?